Hi, welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Dr. G. Thanks for joining us this morning. We invite you to hop in our conversation on YouTube, Getter, and Rumble. It is time now to take the political pulse of America. The beat today, the White House, of course, in agony after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a key MAGA ally and friend to all of MAGA and President Trump's team as well. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles spoke to her team regarding Kirk's assassination. Many there knew Charlie personally and considered him family. At just 31, he was more than a conservative influencer. He was central to the MAGA movement and those leading the White House. Trump and his aides mourn a true patriot who inspired a generation of Americans fighting for freedom and values. For further discussion, let's welcome to American Sunrise, RAV Chief White House Correspondent Brian Glynn. Brian, I can only imagine on Capitol Hill, it's just almost hard to conduct the daily, ordinary business. I mean, it's hard for us here because we're, very used to interacting with Charlie here at RAV as one of our own. But some of the people on Capitol Hill, some of the Congress people and whatever, he was a great inspiration to and a great source of support. There are more people that have sent me screenshots of scripture that Charlie sent to them personally over his lifetime than I can count. And my children have been very inspired by this as well, as you can imagine. And that's ranging from my millennial daughter all the way down to my Gen Z sons. And so this is something that really is permeating our society. But I'm wishing I were hearing more from Democrats, because political assassination is not a partisan issue. And I would like to hear if you're hearing anything from Democrats.
Well, good morning. I spent most of the weekend on a college campus in Texas visiting my son, so I had a lot of time I spent with college students over at Texas Tech talking about this, the influence on them. I also was on the plane with Pam Bondi and RFK Jr. when this news broke, so I had a chance to kind of observe how they were taking it. But let me tell you how Democrats are taking it right now. Not only are they vocalizing, Ilhan Omar has been very public about criticizing Charlie Kirk, but they had over the weekend a virtual security phone call with their members to talk about how they need to move forward with this ongoing threat to, I guess, their safety, when it seems like everyone that's really lashed out against any conservatives have been from their base. But apparently they're interested in increasing the security. Now, on the flip side, Dr. Gina, I've heard of no conversations right now, as of right now, on how to make conservative lawmakers, not only President Trump behind us, but also on Capitol Hill and in the Senate, safer. What can we do to make sure we protect ourselves out in public? I asked President Trump that the other day when he was off on Marine One. Do you have any advice? He says, hey, be strong, have no fear, which the Bible does tell us to have, Dr. Gina. We all know that. But we live in a very different world. And if I could, for just 1 second, people ask me, Brian, can this country be saved? And I got to be very truthful. I think we're so far gone politically. We're so separated between good and evil. It's going to take more than just this, strong policies. We need a complete, Capitol Hill needs to be filled with Donald J. Trumps, because we have so many weak men in the Republican Party that have allowed leftist Marxism, this demonic movement, to get in every facet of our society. Schools, education, military, all these things they slowly pushed us to the point now, Dr. Gina, I don't know where we go from here. And I have nothing in common with anybody on the left that celebrates the death of Charlie Kirk. I don't have anything in common with them. They obviously don't believe in God. That's the fundamental start to all of this conversation. So I want nothing to do with them. I don't want to come together. I don't want to find common ground. I don't want to get along. Let's just move together. I don't want that. So to go back to original statement, it is very difficult times here in Washington, D.C. dealing with all of this.
Yeah. Good and evil cannot find unity is the bottom line. Good and evil cannot find unity.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, you bet. Hey, Brian, the vice president's going to host the Charlie Kirk Show today. What a huge deal. It'll be right here on Real America's Voice. We are involved in all of the production of it. Talk to us about what you know, sir.
Yeah, what an honor this network has involved with this very special edition with Vice President J.D. Vance. As we know, J.D. Vance and Charlie Kirk were close friends. They traveled together to Utah with his wife, Second Lady, to pick up the body and bring it back. It's a very special moment. I think it's going to be something that we can all look forward to, and perhaps I want to see unity in our party to fight this evil, David. I don't want in-party bickering. I don't think it helps the cause at all. But what a great moment today. Looking forward to it right here on Real America's Voice. And I'm very proud of all the production. Look, while I was on a college campus this weekend and I had a trip planned to see my son, I got to do that. I'm so proud of this network and the resources they put together to cover this thing last night from top to bottom, as good as you can get it. Very proud, David, of this network right now in this very difficult time, which he was so close to all of us. And for us to put some of that grievance aside, or grieving and going over and trying to heal and still do your professional job is something to be applauded.
Brian, it strikes me that you say you want to see unity among Republicans as a result of all of this. The reality is there is still work to be done. And yes, we are all mourning. There's a lot of hurt. There's this fog, if you will, probably over Capitol Hill, over Washington in general. But there's still work to be done. 16 days from now, or really, I guess, 15 days from now, something has got to give as it relates to the budget, as it relates to those various spending bills. Otherwise, there might be a shutdown. Has what happened with Charlie Kirk slowed that process? Or are you hearing that the work is still happening? Maybe a little slower, maybe a little heavier, but it's still happening.
The work is still happening, and I just found out, just literally walking into the White House today, that there is a potential budget allocated for security concerns amongst House, not only leaders, but then House members as well. That might be a different aspect factored into this CR that is obviously proposed to, I think, go to the end of November. So we'll see. And I think they're going to vote on this week, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But it's certainly back to business. But I'll go back to this, Terrence. We've got a lot of men and women who claim to be, strong spiritual leaders. They claim to stand up for God and stand for Jesus and try to walk in his light and try to make a change in the world. But when they're in a position of power to actually legislatively do that, they don't. And so that's why I don't have a lot of faith in our government to, quote, save this country. It's going to happen just like it did yesterday in churches around this country, where we saw record-breaking attendance. This spiritual awakening is happening. We just need our elected members in Congress, Senate, and for the most part, our president, keep supporting him. We need them to take strong, bold action and push against anything that threatens this country and our personal safety.
Absolutely. Brian Glenn, keep us posted on all of that. And let's all remember to also pray for each other and for our audience, because I think it's not just hard on those who are there on Capitol Hill or those who knew him here at RAV. It is hard, I think, for a lot of people who just see this as such an American tragedy that they can't get out of their heads for whatever reason. Thank you, Brian.
Agreed.
God bless.
Thanks, Brian.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm going to send it over to Emily.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Gina. Charlie Kirk's brutal and senseless assassination is a tragic wake-up call to end all political violence. An eyewitness to his world-shaking killing on that horrible day joins us now. He was front row, cameras rolling, and then chaos. This wasn't just a moment in his life, it was a moment in history. Joining us now is Logan Jackson. Logan is a student at Brigham Young University and was in the crowd at Utah Valley University the day that Charlie Kirk was murdered. Logan, thank you so much for joining American Sunrise. Really appreciate you taking the time to wake up early with us and share more about your experience that day. I mean, seeing the videos circulating online was just heartbreaking. It was gut-wrenching, absolutely horrific. I can't imagine what it was like actually being there. First of all, before we dive into anything else, how are you holding up?
Well, obviously, there's a lot of emotions. There's anger, there's sadness, there's worry, and there's so much. But as I've gone through this journey and as I've drawn closer to Christ, I find myself filled with a newfound appreciation for life because it could end at any moment, and just filled with the love of God.
Yeah, you have to find some kind of positive in such a dark moment like this, Logan. I totally hear what you're saying. You know, the video that we have been showing on our screen was actually from your point of view 10 minutes before Charlie was killed. So walk us through your experience that day, those moments before and after the shooting. Tell us what it was like from your perspective.
Well, I was very excited to be there. I got there an hour early just to make sure I got a good seat. And so I go up and I'm 30 feet away from him. Uh, and I'm just doing the basic stuff. I'm doing my homework. I'm talking to the people around me. The energy in the crowd is so infectious. There's so much excitement for this. Uh, and then he comes out and it's like you see a legend that, we've only seen on the screen before. Uh, and then he starts throwing out hats. The guy to my left caught one, the guy behind me. I think a guy hit me in the face while trying to catch one, so that was fun. Uh, but I was surprised by how much genuine wholesomeness and excitement Charlie had. You'd think after hundreds of these events that, it's not new anymore, but he was so present. Uh, and then he starts asking the questions and he speaks to the crowd. And we're the second question in, maybe 15 minutes into the event, when I hear a gunshot.
Yeah.
It's a loud noise, and I knew exactly what that was. And I'm looking right at him, and I see the blood come out of his neck. I see him collapse. Uh, and, well, what do you do in an event like that? I
I
collapsed
know.
to the ground. You don't know if you're going to be next.
It's just
Uh,
absolute chaos in that moment. You have to run and hide or try to help others around you. I can't even imagine. And this has had such a profound impact on so many people. I mean, tens of thousands of young people like you and I all across the country. They're now reaching out to TPUSA. Upwards of 30,000 new chapters could be started in high schools and colleges all around the country in Charlie's honor. Yet at the same time, we're seeing awful posts on social media from those on the left celebrating his assassination, celebrating that horrible moment that you had to witness. What are you hearing from other students about this horrible tragedy? Do you think that this has pulled students together or exposed more polarity?
It's done both at the same time. I know when I went to the school the next day and went to my classes, that everything was a buzz. Everyone was talking about it. In Utah, I mean, we live in such a bubble. It was always so safe. And suddenly that's gone, that's ripped away. Uh, but I mean, people aren't that open in person. But I've been sharing my experience online, and it's reached at this point millions of people. And I've had floods of comments that are so supportive from all across, human life. Uh, There's people of all ages, of every race, different sexualities, all across the political spectrum. I've had conservatives reach out, I've had liberals, I've had communists, I've had fundamentalists, and even people from different countries, all coming together and uniting.
Yeah, it certainly had an international impact. Logan Jackson, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us today. We will continue to pray for you and everyone that's been impacted by Charlie Kirk's assassination, especially the Kirk family. Thank you again, Logan. We'll be back with more on American Sunrise in just a few moments. Stay with us.